So now that we've practiced drawing trees in many different ways, you found the one that works for you. You have a tree that has a nice strong trunk, some branches showing, and some leaves at the top. So I have two projects going here because now we get to talk about color and texture. So we're using two different drawing materials, drawing and coloring materials for this project. We're using some crayons and we're using some oil pastels. So we can get nice bright colors with both, but they have different jobs in this project. So I'll show you that. So on the trunk of the tree, one thing we've been practicing is using crayon pressure to add some value to our art. So using these techniques to create the trunk and the branches of our tree. Okay, then we get to talk about color. So we're going to talk about two main groups of color for the leaves of our tree and later the sky. We're going to focus on the leaves today. So warm colors and cold colors. So we're going to be choosing one of these color groups, warm colors or cold colors, to color in our treetops, our leaves. So it's fall right now. You might be picturing a tree where the leaves have started changing. That's what I was picturing with this one, so I stuck with warm colors. So with my oil pastels, what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the color wheel and I'm going to choose neighbor colors. These are called analogous colors. Analogous colors are next to each other on the color wheel, and because they're so close and they look a little bit related, I know that when I mix them, they're going to make a nice bright color. I'm not going to be unhappy with the result. It won't get muddy or brown where I don't want it to be that muted brown color, okay? So I chose for this project some reds, some oranges, and a yellow. Okay, so I would go to the color wheel if I wasn't sure what colors were neighbor colors. And you'll notice that there's some in-between colors here too. So here's my red. This is a red-orange, which is just red and orange mixed together. Okay, then there's an orange. There's even a yellow-orange. So with our oil pastels, we have a lot of those colors in between the primary and the secondary. It's called a tertiary color. Okay. What I really want you to remember is that they're neighbor colors. They are next to each other and they mix really nicely. Okay. If you skip one tertiary color, it still works out okay, but I want you to choose three. Okay. So I have my red, and I think I did skip red-orange for this one, and I went orange and yellow-orange. I'm going to start with the color you can see, and I'm just going to make, it's sort of a little scribbly line, zigzag line. You can make little patches of color just using line. So it's sort of like I'm making a pattern, but not a very careful one. And I'm just filling in those groupings of leaves with these colors. Okay, I'll go to my orange and start filling in the spaces in between, again with that little sort of messy line. Yellow. And when you get to your third color, that's when they're really going to start to, you can overlap where you're coloring and start smudging the colors together. That's when it's really going to start to look like a clump of leaves. You can sort of picture them overlapping and blowing in the wind. And because we're not blending the colors all together, we can imagine as we look up at a tree, the sunlight hitting the tree and the individual leaves. Okay, so I'm going to keep working on this.